He's been trolling Flat Earth for about 3 years. Literally. Full time. I think he's mentally disabled and he gets a government check so he doesn't have to work. And he spends all his time trolling Flat Earth. And he says he does so because he's an intellect and he cares about people who aren't thinking right. But he hasn't convinced a single Flat Earther to go around. Not a single one. And in addition to not even being able to convince anyone, so he's not even a really convincing person, he hasn't shown himself to be anything other than a cyberbully who doxes people in order to get them to stop talking. So he's not really even a debater. But I find him really peculiar because if he was really about maintaining a certain intellectual rigor or keeping primitive bad ideas out of the mainstream, then wouldn't he be focusing on other movements that are bigger and more destructive, more pernicious? So he's not a hero, even though he fancies himself to be some type of a hero. What he is, that's another question. But what I will say is that maybe he is part of this overall trend I see. I used to just, use a blanket term called fascism. It's this trend in thinking called, well, it's collectivism, but it's this trend in thinking where people feel like they have to answer to someone for every one of their errant thoughts immediately. So you can't even entertain Flat Earth. You can't let it bounce around in your head for 2 weeks. No. The instant you consider it, you've got to sit down at a table with your confessor and tell him how you have drifted in your thoughts. And then he can set you right. So I see these people functioning as extensions of the Jesuit order. They're functioning as flying monkeys deployed by the beast system in order to prevent people from thinking outside of its prescribed boundaries. That's what we're looking at here. I'm not saying they're all paid trolls, because you don't have to pay everyone to be an Agent Smith. You just got to brainwash them really good when they're young, and they'll police one another. That's how it operates. We are the prison wardens. And so what I've seen here with Facebook, I've seen it in Facebook too, but what I've seen in YouTube is that this community has been compromised. The truth community is not about truth. It's about conformity. It's about political correctness. YouTube is mainstream now. You will get a lot of good information, but you have to search for it. You have to be filtered for it. But it's also the most policed. I mean, there are so many thought police here. I've never seen such rigid thought policing since I was in the military. I am not joking. This is a government-run operation. This Flat Earth unveiling, this is being run by the government. And when I say government, I mean the fact that it's not just government. It's the government media entertainment complex. It's this big juggernaut that is also not a separate entity from religion, from Rome. Basically, the mind controllers. In general, this mind control system, which is a massive hydra, this big beast with many different facets, it is right now, as we speak, unveiling Flat Earth in a controlled fashion. And what is a controlled fashion? And I called this out from the beginning of my channel. I called it out from the beginning, and I immediately took a lot of flack, so I pulled my message back, and I tried to focus on other areas, but from the beginning I kind of recognized what it was, and I tried to prove it wrong. I tried, but I wasn't able to. No, Flat Earth is a controlled release, and the dome, I know a lot of you love it. A lot of you go to